Hello everyone, Joel A. Erickson, Brandon Marcello here, talking Auburn's offensive line. A lot of mixing and matching has gone on, going back to the end of the day after the national championship game last year, when Greg Robinson declared he was leaving early.
Yeah.
Kozan gets hurt, Patrick Miller gets hurt, lots of moving going on. Sort of sounded like tonight, though, that they're going to stick with what they've got.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to try and stick with that lineup where we've seen Devontae Danzy on the left side, left guard, and Avery Young sticking at right tackle. And I do wonder, though, this is the big question, and I'm sure we're going to get our answer Saturday, is how do they mix in Braden Smith? And where do they mix him in? He had been practicing at left tackle. He spent maybe a few practices last week during the bye week at left guard. He practiced or worked some at tight end in that unbalanced set as well, as we've seen against Mississippi State. They're trying to get him ready for the future, obviously, but how ready is he to maybe, who knows, maybe play guard and maybe unseat a guy like a Chad Slade or give Devontae Danzy a breather if they need it? Or is he primarily a guy that can come in and help out Sean Coleman at left tackle?
Yeah, interesting thing that if they want to increase his role, playing him at tight end doesn't really do that.
Yeah.
There's only so many times they're going to use that in the game because, first of all, they don't run that set very often, and second of all, a lot of times when they run that set, they need CJ in there to catch the ball. So, be interesting to see how they use him. Also interesting to watch what happens with Patrick Miller.
Yeah.
He's a guy who can clearly start on the SEC level.
Yeah.
Has done it 3 years in a row, has had something happen to him in each of the last couple seasons that knocked him out of the starting lineup. But he's a guy who can play. And you wonder, where does he fit into this mix going forward? Key thing, they got to figure out some of their protection issues, especially in the passing game, after giving up more hurries than they've given up in a long time. And sacks against Mississippi State.
That was kind of surprising. I mean, Mississippi State's defensive line is really good. We knew that, but there were some breakdowns that we had not quite seen at that level and that repetition in previous games. And the batted down pass, the very first play, as soon as that happened, you're going, okay, this is not a very good sign. And it kind of continued from there. Brett Lashley pointed out, the picks have kind of happened on batted passes, and all three of those picks have all happened on first down, which is kind of crazy, which has hurt them, obviously. And you wonder if – here's the thing. We're getting off topic here. Everybody keeps talking about Nick Marshall's accuracy. The interceptions really haven't been his fault. Mm-hmm. And that is quite a bit different from last season when he seemed to be forcing things and getting picked. Having said that, if you just shore up some issues there on the offensive line, that's what's going to make this offense click a little bit better.
Or did they put Marshall on the move? He's actually thrown it pretty well on the move.
Even early last season when he was struggling and when he finally would start rolling out doing some stuff, that was when he was at his best.
Mm-hmm. So you wonder if maybe they find ways to get him on the move. It'd be interesting to see. Coaches aren't telling us what their wrinkles are, and really, we, and I say we as the collective group of beat writers, probably should know they're not going to tell us what the wrinkles are.
Yeah.
But I after coming out of a bye week, expect to see some new stuff. They always do. Again, like you said, a little bit off topic, but a kind of outgrow of the offensive line's had its issues, had its mixing ups. What's Auburn's answer to that? That's what we're going to find out this weekend, and more importantly, week after that.
Yeah, that's the root of all issues, not all issues, but most issues, and got to get them figured out. If they do not look strong and consistent against South Carolina,
do we see change for Ole Miss?
Do you see the change finally for Ole Miss? Exactly. So big week ahead, and then next week's even bigger when it comes to what this team's really going to look like up front.